let's begin. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 14 of Be Cool. I am Shima, and you may be wondering why this is being recorded on a Thursday by any chance. Or if you're on YouTube and SoundCloud, that realistically does not even matter to you right now. This is a pre-recording, so if you are a random person that randomly came up on Ustream right now, usually my Be Cool episode are hosted every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I will actually be out of town this weekend, so unfortunately I am not able to make it on Sunday, so I decided to pre-record it instead. I will also have it posted on YouTube, so I will advertise this actually on Sunday, so y'all are more than welcome to tune in at 9 p.m., but you will see this recording. So all is good in the world. This is just a pre-recording. So, alright guys, like I mentioned, it's episode 14 of Be Cool, and it's a pre-recording, so I'm excited about this weekend. I quickly mentioned that I'm not going to be in town and unable to make it for the actual live posting of Be Cool. And the reason is because Francis and I are leaving super early, like 6 a.m. to New York. So we're flying to New York actually tomorrow. And I'm excited because it's my first direct flight to a certain city. Like, there's no layover or anything like that. I get to go straight to New York, and it only takes an hour and a half, and I'm super pumped because that's never happened to me in my entire life. Although I would like to check off the list of being able to fly first class. That has been done in my entire life. So anyways, so we're going to be in New York for the weekend, or at least half of the weekend. Hopefully this audio is not going to be on YouTube. It's not going to be crazy because what I'm seeing is not, it's like lagging by a slight millisecond, which kind of is irritating me a little bit, but no worries. Anyways, sorry, just random little thought that I wanted to throw in there. So we're going to be in New York for half of the weekend, from Friday all the way up until early morning Saturday. Friday evening tomorrow, Francis actually has 3 pieces at a gallery show, I guess that's what they would like to be called. What are they? Like, what do you call the society? Oh, he can't even hear me. I forgot he has his headphones on. Anyways, so we're going to be going to the Society of Illustrators, which will be hosted tomorrow evening. And they have like an award show and like the gallery space and everything like that. So he unfortunately did not receive any awards for his 3 paintings, but he has his 3 paintings in the show itself. So we're going to go to that, and apparently that's where all of his artist friends are going to be. I have no idea what I'm about to get myself into. I know certain things about art, but not to the extent of what Francis and a lot of these artists do for a living. My idea of art is my idea, which is fine and dandy, but it's not as, because I mean, most of these people went to school for it, and they have all of this knowledge towards it, and they do traditional paintings. Some will do digital, but mostly all of them have done traditional. I don't paint. I do a whole different line of art, so this is going to be very interesting for me, and I've been surrounded by artists and with Francis's friends and such. But there's going to be moments where I have nothing to really share and to talk about. So I'm just going to be kind of more of Francis's arm candy, I guess you can say, and hope that I can quote-unquote fit in as best as I possibly can. Hi, Kyle. This is a pre-recording episode, just FYI. Anyways, so yeah, we'll be going to the Society of Illustrators tomorrow evening, and I'm a little bit nervous because, again, I don't really know what to expect. I don't really know if I'll have any conversations to talk about with these individuals, but I'll get to be able to meet a lot more of Francis's friends that he's all, has talked about before, but I've never actually fully met them. So that will be interesting. And I have like this crazy hairstyle that I want to do, and I spent all day today trying to find shoes that can go with the outfit that I plan to wear, because I don't want to be, it's going to be New York, so I don't want to wear heels to this event, because I'm going to be walking a lot of places, and this event is going to be majority of the time standing. So I had to find appropriate shoes that would go great with my outfit, but on top of it, be very comfortable as far as walking all around New York and through the subway all day tomorrow evening. So I think I nailed it. I will make sure to take photos tomorrow so you can actually see my outfit that I planned, and also I definitely plan to periscope the moments throughout this entire trip, especially for tomorrow evening. So behind tomorrow evening, Saturday, we don't really technically have anything planned. We want to actually go to the MoMA because we've actually never went, which is shocking. And then maybe some other touristy things because again, this is vacation for me. I'm not working at all. Thank you, Kyle, for giving me safe travels. And so, I'm super excited about it because not only are we going to be in New York for Friday, Saturday, and then we plan to leave early morning Sunday, we'll be getting a rental car Sunday morning and driving to Massachusetts in Stockbridge, Massachusetts, and that's where the Norman Rockwell Museum is at. So we'll be in this like little tiny town called Stockbridge in Massachusetts, and we'll be staying. Oh, this is an awesome part. So I've spent majority of my travels doing couch surfing, which I find that's what I personally like. But this trip, we actually are trying something new. Usually when we go to New York, we stay with friends. This time, we were about to stay in hotels. So, okay, we were about to stay in a hotel in New York and in Stockbridge. So I let Francis deal with all that one night, and I went to bed, and he told me that he found a place near the Society of Illustrators, which is right near Central Park. And for whatever reason, I was like, that's interesting. Do you remember what it's called? Because I'm not going to lie, about 2 to 3 weeks prior to that evening happening, I remember specifically watching a video posted on Reddit that involved a hotel that had an infestation of bed bugs. And so it was some visitor, guest, whatever you want to call them, that happened to get bitten up crazy by the bed bug infestation, that they decided to record it and show proof of it. And it was the most disgusting thing I've seen in my life. And so I remember that because I've dealt with bed bugs at least once, and I never want to deal with it again. That's the story. It goes. Everyone's dealt with it at least once, or not everyone, but when you have dealt with it at least once, you hope you never have to deal with it again. So I was very curious on the name of this possible hotel that we were going to be staying at that's so close to Central Park, because that's the same scenario that happened in the video. It was a hotel in Central Park. So I quickly look up the video just to make sure I'm not tripping or anything like that. And then Francis could not remember what it was called. So I randomly found the video and I asked him, I can't remember what it's called. It's like Astor in the Park or something. I remember I looked up the video and I'm like, so do you remember like what it started with? He's like, I think it started with an A. So I'm like, all right, is it Astor in the Park by any chance? And he's just like, yeah, it's that. I'm like, yep, nope, totally noping out of this. Nope, that's not gonna effing happen. We're not saying. And like, by this point, Francis is like dead asleep pretty much. And I am on my way to fall asleep, but now that I know that we're gonna be staying at a bed bug infested hotel, this is not happening. So I quickly told him, you need to cancel that. The next day, I am going to figure something out, but that is not happening at all. And I'm like, I can show you proof, Francis, that it is not going to be a reliable situation. So, unfortunately, Francis had to be demoted to the actual sleeping reservations of our whatever you want to call it. And so I decided the next day, let me give Airbnb a try. I do couch surfing. It's like in between couch surfing and hotels. And finding a hotel in Manhattan near the Society of Illustrators will either be really hard or expensive. And we're not filthy rich at all. So I'm not looking to drop $200 a night for a place to stay. So I quickly looked at Airbnb, and there's a lot of options in New York. Even one of our friends actually just posted his extra bedroom as a as a room for Airbnb. So I was able to find a place in Manhattan, about a good 15-minute walk to where we need to be tomorrow evening. And so I was so excited. I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. It's almost like couch surfing, but you're still paying for it. Whatever. But then I got into my mind, well, let me just see what Stockbridge has to offer as far as Airbnb goes, because The hotel I got seemed nice in the idea that it's like right off a lake, but the actual interior of it was like very cheap looking kind of thing. Which, I mean, I'm not being picky at all, but I'm like, let me just, now I got a little taste of what Airbnb can offer me. Let me see what Stockbridge has to offer. And so it was the most awesome, like, these people are like little ladies that just have an extra house and like, or not even have an extra house, but they have an, extra room, and they're like living in these like houses that Norman Rockwell could have painted if he really wanted to. So I persuaded Francis that's like, it's like a bed and breakfast. Like, we can totally make this work. So for the first time, both of us, we're going to be experiencing Airbnbs. So I'll definitely take y'all into that too on Periscope when I record every moment during this trip. And then the crazy other part is we plan to leave Tuesday, but the closest major airport is in Albany, New York. So Francis technically leaves first, and I leave second. So we're not flying together back, because it's the weird part. So for however flights work, we fly out of Albany, we have a connecting flight to Atlanta, and then technically Atlanta to Detroit, but we realistically paid for Detroit to Toronto. So there's technically 2 stops before the main, Albany to Toronto. But we're not going to take the Toronto flight. We're just going to go straight to Detroit. Once we get to Detroit, we're just going to leave. The interesting part is I would have totally went on that flight with Francis if I had a passport. I don't have a passport, so I didn't want to take chances of being denied that flight, even though I'm technically not going to a different country. The flight says that I will be, so I didn't know exactly when they were going to ask for my passport, if they were going to ask it for at Albany, or if they were going to ask it in Detroit on the way to Toronto. So I didn't want to take risks, so I decided to wait 6 to 7 hours for the next flight that I can finally get to take me to Detroit. So this is going to be an interesting day on Tuesday, but it's what happens when you don't have a passport like myself. So Kyle, you mentioned you wish you could dog sit Akira. I wish you could dog sit Akira too. She's currently with a dog sitter, babysitter, whatever you want to call them. I dropped her off this morning, so that's why it's like super quiet here. And Francis and I truly do miss her already. It hasn't even been a full day yet, but they usually do send photos. It's from a site called rover.com, and I've used them before, and everything was fine and dandy, other than Akira kind of came back with like an eye infection in a sense. So we'll see what happens this time around. But usually they take pictures of her and like give me updates on what's happening throughout the day and stuff like that. They just haven't given me an update about today. So I'll give them 24 hours and then that's when I'll start questioning them. Give me 1 second. But yeah, so I wish she could come with us, but unfortunately she can't. And so at least we have some, and they don't live too far from where we live. So as far as episode 14 goes, I had a feeling that I should do more of an actual topic. Kyle, since you're on here, okay, I'll ask you, because you're the only one on here, which is totally fine. But would you actually want a specific topic talked on episode 14, so this episode, or do you want it more just like an update on what's going on in my life and what are future plans that I have listed in my schedule currently right now? Because as far as the topic goes, this topic can get pretty long if I really want it to. Or I can do my randoms, which I do have a lot of things that I could share on this episode. And this is a pre-recording, so that is up to you. I'm going to throw that into your ball court, Kyle, and let you figure that out as I answer your question. How long are you staying in New York? I will be there technically from tomorrow to Friday, Saturday, and then we're leaving New York City early Sunday morning. And then we plan to be in the Stockbridge, Massachusetts from Sunday, Monday, and then leaving early Tuesday. So that's like, I feel like I'm counting badly, but that's like 5 full days. So a good amount of time. It's not a lot of time being spent in New York. I mean, we have like majority of all tomorrow and then all of Saturday, but not as much time as we could have had if we weren't going to go to the Norman Rockwell Museum, which is totally fine. It's totally going to be worth it, and I'm totally excited for it. But realistically, yeah, that's how long I will be staying in New York City. I'm seeing if you're going to type anything as far as if I should do an actual topic or if I should just do like a random conversation. Oh my god, my voice. A random conversation. I know. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm sorry that I was not here on last Sunday. It was Francis's mother's birthday. Her birthday was actually on the 2nd, but we celebrated on Sunday. And so that's usually how it's been. Like Francis's dad, we celebrated on a Sunday, and Francis's birthday, we celebrated on a Sunday. And so Francis even tells me, he's like, I wish you weren't doing your podcasts on Sundays because it's usually Sundays is like our day where we're not working and anything. So I decided that day, I'm like, well, I feel bad for cutting this short, and everything was happening a little at a slower pace. So I'm like, I'm just going to cancel it. No offense, y'all, but I have all control of what my podcast is going to be like and how long I should do it and when I should do it and stuff. So I'm like, I've been good for this entire season. I've been pretty much on time except for these pre-recordings that I'm clearly doing right now. But hey, let me just do one canceled day. So that's what I ended up doing. I'm sorry you missed out. I found out also, though, when on Sundays there's like Sunday night football, too. So like a few weeks ago, I went and had competition with a football game. I don't know. I don't follow any of that stuff. So yeah, Kyle, you said I am good with the randoms, right? Me sharing, like, just not talking about topics. Because I've recently asked a lot of advice from my viewers on the Be Cool episodes, and I was very fascinated on y'all's thoughts of things that I should do more, do less of, what is things that you actually appreciate the most of, yada, 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 yada. And a good amount were saying that they do appreciate having topics. And if you remember episode 12 with Paul and Yang, Paul has his own podcast that I actually got to sit and watch and be like kind of see how he handles his podcast. And our podcasts are completely different from each other, which is awesome. But there were moments where I'm like, he had like a list of topics that he wanted to talk about through his episodes. And I'm like, oh man, like I kind of miss that, like having a topic. Or not that I miss it, but I'm like, I should have that. So usually, and then a few people are like, oh, well, do you not like, before, a lot of people are like, well, prior to your actual episode, think like ahead of time of a topic. And I usually do that, but it's always like on a Monday, and I have 6 days to keep in mind that particular topic that it just obviously loses out of my brain. So this time I'm like, I'm going to keep a note open of all the topics that I'm going to share on my episode. Anything that comes up in a random moment, I'm going to pull up my notes and save it to my phone. So currently right now I have a total of 5 topics that I can go talk about. So I'm going to save these topics for when I get back. Actually, I might save it for Valentine's Day because that's next Sunday. And I have nothing planned on Valentine's Day. I mean, you have to ask Francis, but I technically have nothing planned except for hanging out with y'all on Sunday. So I'm going to say these topics, but keep in mind now I'm starting to collect topics. So if you have an actual idea and you want to share it to me, feel free to email me at elshima.model@gmail.com. I almost forgot my own email address. Or you can tweet me or Instagram me or Tumblr me at elshima_model or elshima.tumblr.com. I feel like at this point y'all should know my like name for searching as far as social media goes. But okay, so I have enough honestly to talk about as far as randoms go. Because I've been very busy these past week, technically, past 2 weeks, honestly. So I had an awesome opportunity to have not only Paul and Yang as a special guest, but I also had the lovely Cassandra Ward as a guest with me last week. So now I've been on the hustle mode, a super hustle mode on trying to get a lot more special guests. And I've noticed that I would send about 5 emails to 5 unique individuals and let them know that I'm interested in having them as a guest on my episodes. Recently, that this number has changed, but in the beginning of me doing this, about 1 out of 5 would actually reply to me. And that was a very unfortunate thing that kept happening, and I didn't know why. It's not like I'm trying to, like, reach out to Kim Kardashian or, like, Jessica Biel or any of these, like, crazy high famous people. I'm not saying the people that I am reaching out aren't, like, famous or anything like that. But realistically, I'm like, okay, there's, like, honestly, like, you can at least say no if you want to say no or whatever. But I was fortunate that actually number has went down, or went up, I guess you can say, because I've decided to send less emails in one mass. So I never, like, copy or CC anyone. I send them all individually, and I change everything up, but I usually keep the same gist of what I'm actually trying to, like, sell to them, in a sense. So I've usually just sent it only to 3 people in a group and then wait to see, and that's actually been very helpful. So I have great news. I have more special guests that are actually scheduled to be on Be Cool. So I'm excited. Now I actually have a schedule with people's names, and it's going to be awesome, and I'm excited. There's even going to be a week where there's going to be 3 weeks of me, not that I'm not going to be talking when the special guests are on, but, like, 3 full weeks where I'm not having this just me and you moment. It's just going to be me and somebody else kind of thing. So get ready. There's going to be 3 weeks of me not talking. So I'm really excited, yet, like, curious of, am I going to, like, have so much to say that I'm just going to, like, just push this special guest away and be like, hey, it's the all Shima time again. No, that's not going to be the gist. That's actually, I got another feedback, too, during Cassandra's episode, and I was super worried that, I talked too much during her episode. Like, I don't know what was it, but I felt like I didn't give her enough chance to talk, and to the point where I even was cutting, like, not cutting, but going through the video just quickly, on Premiere, that there, like, every time I would just pick a random spot on the actual feed of the video, it would literally be just me talking, and I'm like, oh my god, I felt so horrible after I realized that I'm, like, texting Cassandra, I'm like, I'm so sorry if I talked way too much. I don't know if I had, like, a lot of energy or what, but I do freaking apologize. So this time around, when I have special guests, I'm not going to talk as much. Again, like I like to have it, though, is as if it's a conversation between me and the guest. So I'm going to try to keep that in mind, because usually if it was a real conversation, I don't talk as much anyways. So let's just hope that I get back onto the actual point of these episodes when I have special guests. But anyways, so there is going to be a moment where I'm not going to have this special bond between you and I. It will have another third party or a second party or whatever you call it with us. So that will be super exciting. I'll give the down low as far as who's going to be on certain episodes a week in advance. But currently right now, it is 3 models, 1 promotional model, 1 model that's actually into more fetish work. Actually, now we just got approved, whatever you want to call it, for another model. So there's 4 models. 1's going to be promotional. 2 of them are technically more fetish bondage type of models. And then, hopefully a photographer. He agreed to that he wants to do it. He just hasn't given me an actual day yet. And 2 out of 5 of those special guests are actually Detroit locals. So they'll be here sitting right next to me. Hopefully I'll have my studio made up, which I'll get that into a second. But they will be sitting here, and they'll be trying weird shit with me, because that's going to be a thing now. If you're here sitting right next to me, you're going to be trying something weird with me, and I don't care if you don't like it, because I'll have a bucket here, and you can definitely throw it up. But yeah, so far, technically, I've had 5 people say they can do it. So now, and 4 of them have actually, 3 of them have actually gave me times and days, and they're actually on my calendar. 2 of them, 1 just responded today, and I just haven't replied back, and 1 of them is just disappeared for right now. So whatever, it ends up happening. But I'm excited because that's a lot of fucking people. So just like, yay, I finally have guests. Like, there was a while where for like 11 episodes, I didn't have anyone to talk to. And I just realized also, I forgot to mention, sorry I look like a hot mess. I literally had a lot to do today in preparation to the flight tomorrow. So I didn't have time, nor did I feel like putting my face on right now. So this is the true Shima. Kyle, do a Twitter poll. For what? Twitter poll. Oh, for a Twitter poll as far as ideas and topics that you think would be good for the episodes. Is that what you're going for? Can you do a split screen thing like last time? Yes. So the only difference is I have to remind myself to buy a connector cord because I'm using a Mac now, and last season I was using my PC and I had a PC monitor to hook up, and one screen would be for what I see here and the other screen would be for the actual Skype call with the actual special guest, and so I would just have to do the dual split screen. So that's my plan, but hopefully that will still be able to work with the Mac. But that's my plan, so don't worry. I will do the split screen when there is somebody that doesn't live in Detroit itself. I'll be a guest if I can figure out how to use my webcam. You can definitely... I should do a few episodes where, like, I have the people that watch you stream and stuff. Just be talking to, like, y'all, the people that actually care and the people that actually follow my work, and get to know y'all individually a lot better than what y'all just write to me or tweet me or the random questions that I might throw on Twitter and stuff. That's a good idea, Kyle. I might use that idea. So I'll make sure I trademark you for that. And also I mentioned, hopefully my studio will be done for most of these special guests when they come into my house. Because I love being in my living room. It's very relaxing. I can have my blankie while I'm sitting on the couch. And as soon as I'm done with the episode, I can just lounge back and watch TV if I really need to. That actually never happens that way. But you're just saying. Realistically, though, I do have a studio in my house. But for the longest, it did not look nice. This is why you might see all this stuff right next to me right here. All of this stuff actually came out of my studio. So, if you follow me on Periscope, you will definitely know what has been going on. But if you don't, which you should, I advise you should, especially before this trip happens, follow me on Periscope. It should be the same handle as Twitter, so _model. I started actually recording a little Periscope video of my process of my entire studio makeover or remodeling or whatever. So I just, literally like 2 days ago, I just finished painting the main part of the room. I did a split, so the bottom half of the wall is like a gray and then the top half is white. My plan is to hand build everything in the studio, so hand build myself a standing desk, hand build a couch, hand build all the shelves that I plan to put up, and anything else, and even the light fixture that I plan to put up. I plan to have that entire room customized for myself. Is that the right term? I have no idea. So I actually was able to paint the main room of it. I still have the closet and the doors to do because prior to this renovation, the previous tenants decided to paint the entire room this particular dark blue-gray color, which is totally fine, but that room needs more light in it. It doesn't get that bright. So having that dark color for majority of the room wasn't cutting it for me. So, and I wasn't really feeling the color anyways. So, it took a while I've never renovated or even painted anything in my entire life. So this is like, I'm as amateur as it gets when it comes to this stuff. So I started off prepping the entire walls. So I cleaned it off with a sponge. I then started doing the spackling and the caulking, and that was ridiculously crazy, and I learned my lesson on that part. Like, caulking doesn't really sand down very well in comparison to spackling does. And I caulked the shit out of a lot of cracks and let that dry. So I learned my lesson after that. And then once that happened, I had to fix because I have 2 windows in that studio. One of the windows opens perfectly fine. It's just the entire finishing was like starting to chip and rust and all this other stuff. The other window was the same situation, but the window wouldn't open. And it was one of the obstacles that I had to face because I needed that window open. We don't have air conditioning in this house when the summer hits, so I need air conditioning through those windows. So it took a good 45 to an hour to get that window to finally open. And hallelujah, that happened. It was such a miracle when I got that thing to open. I was like so excited. I instantly went on Periscope. I'm like, oh my effing God right now, people. Like, this is serious. I just did this because I'm a badass and I rock this world. I was so excited about it. So the entire room is technically painted. All the trimmings and the baseboards are painted. I just have to do the closet and the doors. And then I feel a sneeze coming on, but it's not happening. Okay. I want to do the floors, which I just want to stain them a darker color, but I haven't figured out if I really want to get into that. And like I said, I plan to make the standing desk as well as the couch and the light fixture and anything else random in that I put in that room. So I still feel a sneeze coming, and it's not coming. And I'm at the point where, like, it just needs to happen because I can feel it. Nope, it's not happening. All right, Kyle, have you done any more reading, or have you done more reading lately? I'm sorry to say this, but no, I have not. I literally am the most dumbest person in the entire world. Like, I don't know what 2 + 2 is. No, I'm just kidding. No, I have not done any reading. Actually, I've been meaning to. I even have a list of books that I need to read. I've never really technically have been a reader in my entire life. Hi, Alejandro! I've never really, like, when I was even in, like, grade school, I never really picked up a book and started reading. I went outside and decided to play out and about and stuff like that instead of sitting inside and reading. So I never have that trait of, like, a bookworm or anything, but I feel like I should, and that was actually my goal before the end of the year happened, which was to read a book once a month. I just kind of dropped that ball, like, pretty freaking hard. So I need to pick that ball back up and continue it, but I just have not been technically able to find time, or just haven't been, like, inspired to find a book that, like, says, read me. Alejandro, since you just signed in, this is just a pre-recording, so you do not have to stay if you do not want to. I am actually not talking about anything specific. I do have a lot of topics saved, 5 topics, by which means I will share as the next weeks come. And I have, the other thing that you missed was, like, I have special guests actually lined up this time. 5 of them technically have said yes, they'll do it. 3 of them have actually given me, like, in a specific time and date. So 2 of them I'm waiting, actually, for confirmation. Kyle, we should start a book club. But the question is, what book, like, what genre of books do y'all like? Cause I have a particular genre, I would say. I'm not that it's very particular. It's just, I don't know. I tried reading, like, what's that? The Cuckoo Nest. The bird flying over the cuckoo nest. Couldn't really get into that. I tried reading a marketing book. Couldn't really get into that. I read a happiness book, which was not bad, but, like, I was just reading it because I thought I should be reading it. I agree with you, Alejandro. I need to read more, too. I seriously do. Growing up when I was in high school and in middle school, I liked urban fiction. So my favorite author was Eric Jerome Dickey. He would write about, basically it was black culture, but he would write about these individuals that would be getting into these like crazy situations, meaning like it's like not like situations you could probably put yourself into right now if you really wanted to, like a guy hooking up with one girl and then going and cheating on that girl with somebody else who was related to his cousin, like shit like that. And it was so like involved with it, like I'm like, oh my god, this is so awesome right now. Like I just love, I don't know, I haven't read those type of books in years, so I don't know if I'm still the same way. And then I also read, when I was in high school, a gay book. Like, it was literally about, like, a guy trying to find himself and coming out of the closet and, like, all this other stuff. So me and books are not, like, the best. Like, for instance, there's a shit ton of books. Like, I'm looking at it right here. And most of it's art books, though. But some of it is, like, Eminem's autobiography and, like, Pharrell's autobiography and some other randoms. But anyways, you should try audiobooks. That's what Francis tells me. I should try audiobooks. It's just having to find a book that I would be interested in. I don't know. I think I'm just like postponing it. Like I shouldn't. I should just do it. Just do it. I should just do it. Okay, I'll do it. I'll find something on it. Does audiobook have like an app? Should I download an app for that? How does this work? Please tell me, because I am not very savvy on certain things like this. Did you watch Making a Murderer? Yes. So when I was in New York last and staying with Paul and Yang, the first night I got in, Paul decides to put on Making a Murderer, and I'm like, I've heard so much stuff about this. I've never watched it, but I feel like we're about to get into something deep. So the first episode happened. I'm like, oh, that fucking sucks. Like, that's a fucked up story. I wasn't fully feeling it yet. The second episode he played it again before I left, and I'm like, yeah, it's a mystery, but I'm like, it's okay. I decided to watch the third episode by myself when I finally got back to Detroit, and that's when shit got cray-cray. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this, and I literally binge-watched the entire episode, or the entire season, within, like, literally a day. I'm not even kidding you. Like, it was a day. Oh my god, it was insane. Alejandro, yeah, I have art books. I don't know if that counts as reading. I feel the same way. Like, I feel like does art books really technically count as reading? Francis says yes. So if you open an art book, you're technically reading. Even though you might not be reading. You might just be looking at pretty pictures. But it's reading, according to Francis. Maybe you have a video topic on that. On Making a Murderer? That would be interesting. I should have like a video topic talking about like shows and like video games. Like Paul does video games, but like mine won't be as intense as his video game topics. Like mine is like, I play Sims here and there, and I really like that game because I'm a weird nerd. To the point where like I watch other people playing Sims, which is weird. There's a light coming out of one of the windows, and that was weird. Anyways, but yeah, maybe I should do that. Thanks, Kat. Okay, let me add these notes into my handy dandy note pocket because you're giving me these awesome opportunities, and I greatly appreciate it. All right, let's see. Oops, wait, hold on. All right, 4. What TV shows / movie? I've been wanting to do like a movie night on the episodes. I'm so bad at remembering movies that I watched. Like I'll be randomly like in Walmart. I don't know why I said Walmart, but anyways, I'll be randomly in Walmart one day, and then they're advertising like a Blu-ray movie, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that movie existed. I forgot that I even watched that. Like The Martian. Like The Martian was a good one. I didn't forget about that one. There was one that I realistically forgot that I watched until I randomly went to like Target or something and I saw it. And I'm like, I forgot that existed. Anyways, but I've been meaning to do a movie night. Let's see, review. I don't know. Talk about. I don't know what to call that. Let's see. Woo! Is Paul's podcast on Ustream? No, it's not on Ustream. He doesn't do his episodes live. I take that back. He doesn't do a video of his podcast. I don't know if his podcasts are live, though, but he has it on iTunes as well as Libsyn as well as SoundCloud. And it's called The Optional. So, The Optional. Or you can go to my YouTube and you can find the link to his podcast there. Is Francis there? Yeah, Francis is upstairs packing for tomorrow because he needs to get on that shit. I do too, actually. I'm going to do that as soon as this episode is done with. You gave me other episode or topics, Kyle. What did you give me? You gave me something. Oh yeah, no, it's not a topic, but like having. It's not a topic. But having supporters as a special guest. I feel like that would be cool. Supporters as special guests. Like, right? Alejandro, you missed it, but like, would you like to be a special guest? See, I feel like anyone would like to be a special guest. Like, because, like, who doesn't like talking about themselves for at least, like, a good minute? I mean, realistically, seriously, like, even, like, the most shyest person, I feel like, would still like to talk about themselves for at least a minute. So, I think that's a good idea. Ask him what his thoughts on Okay, hold on. Francis! Yeah? Kyle wants to ask you a question. You should probably just come down here and be on the episode. You'll be what do you call it? We all fancy.
I'm trying to get slick.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of El Shima's Be Cool with special guest Francis Vallejo. He just got a fresh haircut and beard trim and is looking fresh to death while I'm looking like this. All right, Kyle asks, what's your thoughts on the Kanye's recent fiasco?
I don't care. I'm just waiting for a wave.
You might follow up with another question, but okay.
No, I mean, it's Kanye. He got all bummed out because Wiz called out Max B as inventing the wave, and free Max B, I guess. But
I feel bad, but I don't know who Max B is, and I don't know what the wave is. Should I know this?
Max B is a let me get the borough right. He's not Brooklyn. He's is he Harlem, New York dude, and he claimed the wave. He invented the wave. He was extra wavy.
But what is the wave?
It's like swag. It's the wave, you know.
Oh, it's just a term.
That song is super wavy. Yeah.
So it's a term. I thought this entire time it was a song, and Max B is like a rapper or something that created a song called Wave.
No, Kanye's album's called Wave now. It's not called Swish. If that's what you're saying.
So wave is just a term of like, oh, that's swag. Oh, bae, you're my bae.
No, it's like that's wavy. You know, get on the wave.
So why did Max B be the one that created the wave? How do people know he created
Was it Harlem? I think it might have been Harlem. He did that back in like 2003, I would say, and it got caught on by the Diplomats. And it was just a thing, and Max B was doing what's the guy, Fetty Wap. He was doing the Fetty Wap thing for a while, way before 10 years before Fetty Wap, and then he got tried for murder and he's in jail for 70 years. So his wave stopped. His wave is no longer coming to shore. Sorry, Max B.
Wait, he's a murderer?
Well, there's all sorts of questions.
Okay.
But He was always his thing, and no one's really talked about the wave too much. I mean, I guess you got what's his name? He signed to DJ Khaled. He did the album with Cameron. Anyways, so then I mean, if you're ahead, you know about the wave, and then Kanye was gonna be whatever the album was initially. Then it was gonna be Swish. Now it's gonna be Wave.
But then what's his name? Wiz came at him on Twitter.
For whatever reason, Wiz came at him on Twitter and was like, that's Max B's wave, Kanye. And Kanye was like already tweeting like crazy, and then was like, he went at Wiz. I forget what he said.
He went at Wiz.
He said something that like,
At least
He
I'm
called
not.
out Wiz's kid, which is kind of.
Well, he also called out Amber Rose. Like, at least when I'm not
Was
dating
that something like
stripper and
don't
stuff.
yeah, something about yeah, Dipset. Cameron's doing an album with TMZ. Did you hear about that? Which is weird.
The
Um,
actual, like, whatchamacallit, TMZ?
yeah, and like
The
and
tabloid?
then a wrestler, one of the like classic wrestlers. Anyways, I'm getting off subject. I don't want to turn this into a rap podcast. But Kanye was tweeting like crazy, and then Amber Rose is like, Kanye got it up in the booty hole, and who cares whatever Kanye does? If him getting it up in the booty hole lets him make another classic, that's fine.
So are you expecting Wave to be a classic?
Well, the sequence I'm looking at is that we have this luxurious weekend, and then I come back and I get Kanye blesses us with a new classic. The only problem.
Stop reading it. This is not for you to
Oh,
read. You get distracted.
the only problem is that Akira ate my headphones, and my headphones are a very special place where I can really appreciate an album, and I don't want to disrespect Kanye and listen to Wave with just computer speakers. That's disrespectful.
To the point where, like, he didn't listen to No Real Friends. That's what it's called. No Friends, whatever that single's called, whatever.
Real Friends.
Real Friends, whatever. And Party in L.A.
No more parties in LA.
No more party, whatever. Anyways, and so he didn't listen to it, and it came on the radio like exactly before we were gonna leave the car, and it just started. I'm like, "Oh, Francis, the song!" Like it just started, so I turned it up. He's like, "No, no, no! I need my headphones. I can't listen to it in the car's audio."
Yeezus would not want me to listen to it mess up. Yeezus posted Real Friends, took it down, reposted it, took it down, because I mean, you don't want to listen to a funky tune. Maybe Future should listen to that after like 9 albums this week.
Francis gets very distracted with the reading of things, so I'm going to read. So Kyle says, "Be thankful for you because you know things. You know he knows things, important things. Hashtag Dipset." And then Kyle says, "Oh yeah, happy birthday to Cameron." And then Alejandro says, "Is Wu-Tang album coming out? What happened to that?"
The one that Martin Shkreli bought?
The gold platinum one, because it's like sold for like $1 million.
Well, RZA and then Mathematics? No, it wasn't Mathematics. One of the Wu-Tang producers with Civil Rings, I think Civil Rings. They released the $2 million album or whatever, and then Martin Shkreli.
Who's Martin Shkreli? I've heard that name.
I don't want to judge people off internet rumors, but he seems like a douche. The dude that raised pharmaceutical prices to.
Oh, him?
Yeah, he bought.
Didn't he go to jail?
Well, I mean, he had $1 bajillion, so he bailed himself out. Then he bought the album, and then Ghostface called him a fuckhead or something. I mean, reasonably, that's a reasonable thing to call him. And then Shkreli came back with a beef video with some goons. And then I'm surprised that Ghostface hasn't ethered him yet. Just went at him. And now Shkreli is saying he's going to release the album and edit out all of Ghostface's verses, which admittedly that's kind of a tough response. But I don't know. You know, Raekwon and Ghost said that they weren't even messing with that album at all. So who knows if they're going to release that. I mean, Ghost has released, 3 albums last year with, was it Bad, Bad, Not Good? I mean, that's good enough for me. You just need that new Raekwon album.
And that was Rap Talk with Francis. I should have you as a special guest because it obviously seems like. Alejandro said yes. And then Kyle says, "Oh no, Akira."
Oh, because he ate my headphones.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you even said that. Yeah, unfortunately. He called. I was in New York when that happened, and he called me. He's just like, so Akira ate my headphones. I don't think I reacted as bad as you did, because I'm like, oh, okay, what's up? That's what, and blank. Yeah. I hate him. Wait, who hates
Martin Shkreli. Yeah, I seen he was on the Breakfast Club. He seemed, like everyone says, his face seems very punchable, but I mean,
So wait, Martin Shkreli is the guy that created that did the whole pharmaceutical things, or is that a completely different guy?
It's the same guy that owned or what. He's a pharmaceutical dude, and he raised the prices like real crazy and stuff.
So he also does rap.
No.
Oh.
He has nothing to do with the rap. He's just.
He just bought an album from Wu-Tang Clan.
He's trying to keep his 15 minutes heavy, so I mean.
Oh, okay. It's hard to get into this rap scenario with Francis. I try to keep up as hard as possible. I ask him random questions about, like, what is the Yin Yang Twins doing right now?
If you go on the Spotify, they got some albums. They're continuing to put out music. I think they just had something with Kali Park.
Kali Park,
booty, everywhere. Booty. But you know, the Yin Yang and Kali Park haven't had any tracks in a while. I mean, I gave it a listen. It was a little tricky, but I think that's all I know about them.
Give me a random. Okay, we'll ask one more question. Give me a random rapper or artist, and then we'll ask Francis what they're doing with their life right now. I'm trying to think of a random one from back in the day. From back of the day, not now. I'm trying to think. I mean, Bubba Sparks. We knew he came to Sarasota that one time, so that's.
Bubba's got classics.
They're not up in it. I'm trying to think of an artist from a long. What about, is Life Jennings still in jail?
He has a new one out. I don't know if he's in jail. You're getting R&B land.
Oh, it's Life Jennings is R&B. I guess that's the X and whatever. All right, bye, Francis. I love you. Just kidding. Well, I do love you, but you can stay if you want. But you gotta go pack.
I need a pocket square. I didn't get my pocket square.
Is that what you're wearing?
No.
Oh, okay. Not saying it's bad. I'm just saying.
I don't know if New York has pocket squares. I need to get one.
I was like, what is something pink? Is this something pink?
Just
Oh, God. I thought my eyes were going crazy, or...
I'm trying to be an adult, y'all. I got a haircut, like, clothes that fit. It's crazy. This girl makes me, like, do that.
I'm pretty sure any girl would make you do. I mean, I don't make him do that. He just does it.
You should... My game was kind of sloppy when I met you.
Yeah, his game was super sloppy. Like... I love you, but your game was super sloppy. Alright, no worries, Kyle. That was actually awesome. It's always nice to hear Francis get into his, like, rapper talk, even though I can't really chime in because I'm like, I know nothing about this. But it's always nice, so I should have him again as a special guest. I know I already had him for, like, the first season, but that was, like, so many episodes ago. That was, like, pretty much almost a year ago. Actually, that was almost 2 years ago, now that I think about it. But, alright, guys, I don't think I have really anything else to talk about. This, again, was just a pre-episode, or pre-recording, so hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Alejandro, what music do you... Or, Alejandro asked, what music do you like, Shima? I realistically, what I usually say is I always love listening to 90s, anything 90s. Like, alternative rock, even country in the 90s, pop, R&B, hip-hop, rap, anything majority in the 90s, I love to death. Currently right now, it's usually just whatever's somewhat popular, I guess, but still R&B, hip-hop, and rap is my go-to. If anything, I'll get into pop here and there, but nothing too serious. But... yeah, I don't do country anymore. I try to do, like, the EDM stuff, but I'm not too heavy in it that much. Except for when I get, like, you know, just, like, in a groove. I don't know. I don't even know if that's how you dance to EDM.
Anderson Paak.
What?
Anderson Paak.
Is that the guy with the booby song?
Tender titty meat.
Francis recommends that y'all listen to a certain song by Anderson Paak.
Silicon Valley.
Okay. Anderson Paak, it's spelled P-A-A-K.
Yeah, and he has a song about titties called Silicon Valley.
And he has a song about titties called Silicon Valley.
It's a classic. It's not corny, though.
It's classic, and it's not corny, though. I don't know if y'all can hear him screaming, but... so, Anderson Paak... so, Anderson space Paak, and then the song's called Silicon Valley. If you like titties, you will like this song.
He was all over Dr. Dre's Compton album.
He was all over Dr. Dre's Compton album. Any more added news?
The song with Schoolboy Q is a classic.
The song with Schoolboy Q was a classic. Kyle, you missed it. If you like... big old titties. If you like titties, definitely check out the artist Anderson Paak and his song Silicon Valley. Check it out. Oh, Kyle's already heard it. He said it's a classic.
He said it's a classic?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet it's a classic.
Oh, alright, Alejandro and Kyle and everyone else that tuned in on a later day. I appreciate y'all, and this was an awesome episode. Next week actually will be, not including this Sunday that's coming, that following Sunday, hold on, is Valentine's Day. Francis, since your next Sunday is Valentine's Day, is there any specifics that you had planned or no? Is it going to take away from 9 p.m. Eastern Be Cool time?
That's when you record, I guess.
Okay. So everything is set in stone. I will be here 9 p.m. Eastern on February 14th for another episode of Be Cool, episode 15. So check that out. And then I'll have my next special guest on the 21st, hopefully. They have to actually check with me on their schedule now I think about it. But most likely the 21st of February I'll have my next special guest. So stay tuned on that. On February 14th I will announce and share who that special guest will be. But get ready because it will be awesome! And I will make sure not to talk as much this time when I have a special guest like Alejandro that you mentioned. I got your text message. Don't worry. I was just really butthurt about it because I'm like, damn it. Yeah, you're right. And that fucking sucked. Also, on another added note, I realized that I cuss a lot. And I'm sorry, y'all, that I cuss a lot. But Francis even told me that I cuss quite often, and there was a good amount of people that responded to my Tumblr questions, and they're like, we were not expecting you to be such of a potty mouth, but, you know. So, if you didn't notice, I attempted this episode to not cuss as much. I said effing and freaking, but just know that cussing will be involved in the show, and unfortunately, if you don't like cussing, I'm really sorry, but I'm trying. I like cussing. I think it's fun, and don't do it if you're not willing to. I don't know. I was gonna say like don't do it unless you're 18, but like you can cuss whenever you want. I think it's more of the idea that like I couldn't cuss around my family. Like my brother and my sister are older than me, and they would cuss, and I tried cussing in front of my mom, and she's just like, no, don't do that. Don't say that word. And I'm like, okay. And I just stopped cussing in front of my family. So I think I have like that pent up, like, I need to say these particular words just to express some energy out. And that's why I cuss. I'm not really sure. I just like it. And I'm sorry, but I noticed that was a topic that I should add because it apparently is a huge deal and I do it so much. But I'll try. I'll say stinking and nincompoop and bubble squatch and other words that, huh? Ding dong and dilly whacker. I'll say some weird stuff like that in replace of fuck and shit and asshole. Sorry, I had to throw those in there. I'm sorry, I just had to be done. Alright. Thanks, Kyle. I appreciate for the good responses as well as Alejandro for y'all tuning in and actually sticking through it and asking even Francis some questions. And
check out Kevin Gates' album.
Francis also recommends you check out Kevin Gates' album. What is it called? Isaiah. You know he's married with kids. I know you know that he's married with kids, but I listened to him on The Breakfast Club, and he's married with kids, and he likes that idea. Just thought that was.
Isn't there a video? Wait. I was gonna say there's a video of him with his daughter puking on his head, but that's Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah, that's Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs having his daughter puke on him. That was fucking hilarious. Oh, sorry. That was fudge cake hilarious. That was French toast hilarious. Kyle says he almost bought it today. I feel like you and Kyle can just have like a little bro date, Francis. You and rappers. You know, you, Kyle, you, Francis, and Paul Tamayo all need to have a threesome as a date and talk about rap and hip hop because y'all so far seem like that's y'all's thing. Not that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying. That's like something I can't be a part of because I'm just going to be like, can I have like ice cream or something? All right. That's it, everyone, and have a fabulous night, day, morning, evening, whatever time this is. I don't even know. It's evening time here. but it might be early morning for you. Alright, guys, have a splendid day, and I will see you February 14th, 9 p.m. Eastern, episode 15. Unless Francis, for whatever reason, makes a huge Valentine's Day extravaganza, and I'm for some reason have to cancel, but you're gonna have to put that with Francis because I have no idea what's happening. Alright, bye everyone, and have a great, splendid night.
Look out for that new Future album.
And then Francis says, look out for the new Future album. Do you just want to come down and give a list right now?
Well, I don't know. Probably Future will have 3 more albums by the time I get back.
Alright, guys. Have a good night.